Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm VeVe Magic. Thank you so much for joining. Today is a VeVe dream come true for me because I am joined by the co-founder and CEO of VeVe, Mr. David Yu. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me on. Yeah.
I appreciate it so much. So I had this whole list of questions prepared and ready to go. And today we're filming on what is for me Thursday. I think it's Friday for you. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
And we got this big announcement today, so I have to veer off script just a little bit. So these posters are insane. And I just had put out a video like 2 weeks ago of an experience I had at the parks. And I did walkthroughs of like the alleyways, and it has all those posters. And I was like, oh my God, it'd be so amazing if we got these one day. And then I saw that and I was like, whoa, like incredible. I am like so excited for this drop.
Yeah. So all those posters are very limited run, extremely limited. I'm not sure if we announce which Disney park. So
I
I'm
think it
not
said
sure.
Disneyland on it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's got Disneyland on it. So it's
Yeah.
pretty good. Um, and they are the original the 1950s rides, how they were came out. So the whole story behind it is very rich.
Yeah.
And those posters you couldn't buy them any other way. They've never been really massive license or merchandise. So we're extremely lucky to get this release coming up.
Yeah, the only place I've actually seen the posters in real life, but they do exist, is at the parks. I mean, you walk under the bridges of Main Street, the railroad, and you can see them on all the walls. And then if you do the back alleys, and they're just kind of super nostalgic. They look very retro because they are from exactly that era. But I wanted to ask, I saw that it says 1955 to 1959 series. So does that mean there could potentially be more or further dates in the future?
Yes. It is the first of the Disney park
Right.
product we're
Okay.
doing. Obviously, our fans will know we done the golden moment that was with the Disney Plus, and we done the like Steamboat Willie, that's Disney animation, cartoons, all the classic, and obviously they have a lot of umbrella entities, and this one's specifically for the parks. So it is the first edition of these product that's coming out,
I love
and
that.
they without giving it too much away, I do believe that there is different parks we're hoping to onboard throughout the world. So it is a full series.
That's exciting. Super exciting. So we recently got to meet in June when you came out for the DCON event, and that was really awesome. And I see you sporting the shirt that I was wearing. So shout out to Common Club because that's super cool. That shirt is just wicked. I love it. But I wanted
Yeah.
to ask you about your visit a little bit, and like, what was your favorite part, and did you like get to take home any collectibles? Just a little bit background of your visit.
Yeah. So I was at the park during the DCON. We were very lucky to be invited to go with the Disney group. And I have been to other parks before. I think I've been to the Shanghai Park.
Mhm.
Well, I know I have. I've been to the Hong Kong Park,
Mhm.
and I've been to the Tokyo Park. And it was one of the first time being to the LA Park. And I didn't actually know there was the Adventureland together with it. So it was a very good experience to go through that one as well, and went through some of the Marvel rides. Um, yeah, so was very lucky. Obviously, I'm a huge Star Wars fan,
Mm.
so quite a bit of our time was spent in the Star Wars section and just looking at, what, experiencing that, and they truly have made remarkable job on once you're in that area, you look at the sky, the whole scenery around you. It's just that full experience. It's amazing.
Super,
Um,
super immersive.
yeah, and yeah, we were very lucky. We did go to the Club 33. We had lunch there, and we had a private tour around. some of the exclusive suites that they have
Amazing.
on offer there. And another one that was amazing was we did go to uh, Walt Disney's apartment above the fire engine room, the fire station. That was an experience.
Special.
And yeah, it was very special. And yeah, it was good to being there, standing there and look around, and just the way he presented, even in his apartment, it just tells you a character of this person's personality and how he likes things to be done, and it's just immaculate. And they kept it very well to its true representation, how it was left behind.
Right.
That was an amazing little place, and it was really good that the guy, explained all the stories around it. How the park was built, which part, and so on.
Right. And I see you got a couple of maybe little tokens to take home with you from your experience there.
Yeah, I couldn't bring everything here, but I definitely got that. This year, as you know, is the 55th year for the Club 33. So I got little, tokens there, key rings. We got a lot of like the pillows you got in the back of you, if you clothing, apparels. Yeah, it was an amazing experience, and the food just amazing. It is truly an experience that you do want to be there. And once you even walking in up the stairway through the door, you just feel like you're in another totally different place.
Mhm.
With how busy the park it is,
Mhm.
you don't feel you feel like you're in another place in the Disneyland. And yeah, also, and the some of the artworks, the bars, with the animated music instrument that's playing, the piano is playing while you're having your lunch and your meal. It is very, very exclusive, and we're very, very lucky to see the inside, what goes on in the park.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And so I don't know if it was this trip. I feel like I've seen a picture of you in the past, but you've gotten to experience building your own lightsaber before.
Yeah.
What's that like?
So I was very lucky. I think I have collected about 5 of the lightsaber. You got to have one of everything, and plus a couple of different variation. Yeah, the lightsaber experience is incredibly immersive, and this is one of the things that what um, what really we wanted to do in VeVe is that creativity, that you become the star behind this whole magic. And the lightsaber just really is another level of experience that you walk through and build something yourself. And obviously, the beauty about those lightsabers, you can get the kyber crystals.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if you got one of the black one. It's like the secret rare if you
Oh,
get the black
nice.
kyber crystal, but it still lights up red. Um, yeah, so it was amazing. If you definitely in the park, you do want to experience that whole make your own lightsaber. It's definitely worth it. And the funny thing was, the first time we went to the experience, we had it scoped out. We watched all the YouTube about what to do, what not to do in the park. And I remember I told Dan, I said, listen, we have to do the Star Wars lightsaber last. We just couldn't do it because you have to carry this huge
Right.
stick around the whole day. And as you know, we went in the park and we went in the opposite direction. So the first stop we stopped was the Star Wars. And I think one of the bounty hunters, or I can't remember, maybe one of the salesperson came up and go, listen, we got a couple spot left for making your own lightsaber. And I'll go, yes, we have to have it. So it was the first thing we did, where and for the rest of the whole day, we just carried the lightsaber with us.
I will tell
Um,
you a trick. Next time you do that, you can go to certain shops and they will hold it for you and you can pick it up at the end of the day.
yeah, God, yeah. That was the first time, and we that during that trip, we only had a short time, so we
Yeah.
didn't spend and didn't go through every other ride. And as you know, the ride does take a long time to line up to wait for. But my last experience, which was during this DCON trip, we went. Yeah, it was amazing. We're like a VIP, so
Oh,
thank you for Disney again. We really experienced the whole, the storytelling, what they try to put together. I think if you have 3 to 4 days, it's definitely worth visiting there, staying at the suite or one of the hotel nearby. It's just amazing experience.
yeah. So tell me about your Disney fandom. Like, how did you first kind of get into Disney?
Yeah, so I was born in Asia, and I migrated to New Zealand when I was about 6 or 7, 8. So my first experience in Disney is back in 1989. Tokyo Disneyland was my first one, and I actually still kept the passes. That
Wow, look at you.
I know that. So my experience started even from the
That's
first trip.
amazing.
Yeah, it's 1989, and these were transit special tickets because we were just passing by Tokyo on the way to New Zealand. So they give you the special booklet with extra rides and extra coupons. Yeah, I had to keep it. So the experience really came from that day, and just gone, oh my god, this is just incredible. And I still kept a few of the small toys I got, during that trip. So that really kept them in my mind, and that's how I really learned about these characters and Disneyland.
Collecting is truly in your blood. I can't believe you have those. It's incredible. There's so many times that I've gone and they've done away with certain paper things, and I like, it's like I can't believe I didn't keep those things when I had the chance. I just don't even think about it. I mean, it's truly in your blood
Yeah,
to keep that.
and these they used to do them in booklets with
That's
coupons
like
in it.
same with the here we have the e-tickets, but
Ah,
that's way back, like when that's
yeah,
been years and years
yeah.
ago.
And cool thing is, look at the mint number, 154.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy.
Yeah, so yeah, so once again, you had to be on a special transit pass to get one of these. So yeah, it started, when I was pretty much, I'm still a kid, I think, in the heart. So, and then obviously watching the Ducktail, growing up with it,
Yes.
yeah, it was always on TV when you come back to school. DuckTales was on it, and that was amazing. Yeah. So, and then I got more and more serious and start collecting artwork, similar to what you have, signed photos, some antique toys. Over on my, I think, right shoulder here, I have a 1930s Mickey Mouse annual book. So it's the first edition they ever published. Yeah,
That's
and
incredible.
perfect. Yeah. So, I really, that's every time I go out with a bookshop, antique stores, market, I try to spot out the odd collectibles and yeah, try to get them all.
That print of Steamboat behind the book, I almost bought that print at the parks, and they had it
Yeah.
framed, and it came with like a medallion kind of coin that was
Yeah.
like, a limited edition thing. And I was like, oh, maybe next time. And don't the next time I went, it was gone. I was like, oh, because I
Yeah.
love that print, especially being black and
Yeah.
white. I love that print.
Yeah. The Steamboat Willies are just absolutely amazing. Yeah, I mean, it's what kicked it all off, really.
Exactly. Yeah. I got this little framed guy the last time I was there. That was my consolation prize for missing the print. So
Yeah.
do you have a favorite like park and ride?
Yeah, I do have to admit every single park have very unique, different part of it. I mean, obviously, the Shanghai one had the Tron, the one that you ride on the bike and they just go through. That was amazing. Just the scale of how they made it, it's just incredible. The Shanghai park. and obviously the Tokyo, you know, the little world, the whole world, you know, just standing in front of it. So every single park, um, yeah, I've been just, you know, there's no one favorite ride. I do have to admit the Star Wars attraction is amazing, and that Marvel ride, which is the Tower Horror or whatever.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, the Guardian of Galaxy now.
That's my favorite ride.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you scream?
Yeah, there was a fun photo of Dan, Dan from my co-founder. Um, you know how they captured the photos in the last job. You saw Dan's soul, his inner soul just left his body.
That's amazing. Yeah, I've taken some people on that ride. They're like, never again. And then my kids, they go to the top in their pictures and they're like, that's our favorite. You know what's really cool about that ride is there's 6 different sequences. Did you know that?
Oh no, yeah,
So,
they just they are different one, but we only went on a ride. It was 6 sequence. Yeah,
6 different songs, and they all have different mechanisms in which the ride interacts, like with the song, and different images. You see different images based on whichever sequence you land, which I think is kind of fun. It keeps it, kind of changes it up. Even if I've been on the ride 50 times, I don't know which one I'm going to get every time I go on.
Yeah, God, you could almost be in the whole day just lining that up again and again.
Right, till you throw up, right?
Yeah, that was very fun. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it was going to drop because they say, well, it's, you know, just a normal ride.
Yeah, that's the best part, is to go in blind and then be shocked.
The Haunted Mansion, I do have to admit, is one of my favorite, in terms of just the storytelling and the whole floor just moved down, and you basically in the extended underground of the whole park, and how they actually had built that Haunted Mansion for number of years before they even opened that ride, because they weren't sure what they're going to do with it. I did watch a documentary after being in the park once I got back in, about the story behind it, and I thought that was amazing, clever done. And even just going into the ride, you see the collectibles, memorabilia around, and you see the one of the artwork. It's like the caved in of of one of the ghost face. Just thinking of that many years ago, it's just amazing. And
that's certainly a fan favorite ride. That was I just saw like a TikTok or Instagram video today of somebody that recreated that elevator in their house with a wall where the pictures rise up. Like, it's not an actual elevator, but the pictures rise up based off of a button, and it's exact pictures. Like replica. I mean, the fandom with that ride alone is crazy. But yeah, that ride has intense history, and I love how they, hopefully one day you get to do the holiday version of it. I don't know if you have, but that's super fun because they tailor it to Nightmare Before Christmas, which is one of my favorite films. And that's a really well done overlay to kind of completely shift the ride to a different movie, theme, but still have the same ride. Is incredible.
Yeah, I still try to figure out how they done that. The whole light, the hologram, it's just so smart. Even that
they worked on that for years.
Yeah,
the Hatbox Ghost, right?
Yeah, so I definitely have to say that's one of the coolest ride in the experience you get to see, and there's always something moving, going around. It really grabs your attention to it.
Exactly. So if you don't mind me asking, of what we have so far on the app, so no spoilers, is there a favorite Disney collectible that speaks to you?
Yeah, and I think one of the most big thing for me, obviously, as a collector and growing up watching Disney, I have comics. I'll show you some of, even going back to the old comic strips from the paper.
Gosh, wow.
In the 1930s. One of the most important part for me in the VeVe journey was just the support that we had from Disney to, to break ground, to even elevate ourselves, was Steamboat Willie. And reason behind it is because Steamboat Willie is as you know, is a 2D animated film that's produced many years ago. And in VeVe, we managed to do that in 3D
Yeah, it's
and
crazy.
animate it and whistle. And that to me is a big honor to, to take that for our team, to create that amazing, animation in 3D. And other company, I have seen merchandise obviously on Steamboat Willie, another very memorable one that you have in the background, which is Lego. They've done that. And so for a company like us, being a new in the industry, innovate, and the ability to turn that how that should be look like if it was in a 3D animated and also in AR was incredibly important to me. It's a major milestone for VeVe, and that's always been a very big seller here. And then the partner statue is another one. I think we all know that how significant that is. That is the creator of the Disney brand. The partner statue is definitely something you walk into the park, it's there. Everyone know the iconic Walt Disney, the importance of what he has contributed to today's entertainment and so on.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more. I've talked about Steamboat quite a bit because it's just such a historical piece. I mean, everybody knows how I feel about partner statue, but Steamboat as well, because that's where it all started. And like, on a piece like that, tags don't mean a lot to me, because when the true huge Disney fans come in, they're not going to care about like the FA and FE tags so much. Like, they're going to look at the historical pieces that mean a lot to the history of Disney as a whole.
Totally.
So
Yeah. And I do also believe that Disney have acquired the rights going back to pre Mickey Mouse now. As you know, Onslaught is another one. I think I have it here, one of the photos.
Oswald, yeah.
Yeah. There's still a lot of things that it's in VeVe that I like to achieve, and to see, to bring in. So, anything it's collectible, I'm hoping we can bring it back into it.
Awesome. So what was, I'm just like, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall when you had these meetings and set up this partnership. Could you give us sort of like an overview of like what your reaction was when you got the confirmation of getting this huge, significant relationship with Disney?
Yeah. I mean, even getting, our fans would know that Marvel was the first partnership, right, and Marvel part of the Disney Corporation. It was an honor. I guess, and that don't get me wrong, the discussion took a number of years. We were discussing in different parts of Disney Corporation and slowly moving into where we are today, release. It's definitely, I think a lot of people probably think, maybe we picked up the phone and we go, hey, would you like to do this digital NFT business with us? I mean, it took a lot of education, a lot of door knocking, a lot of meetings, and a lot of convincing. It was very, very hard in 2017, 18, when we first approached Disney, that, the vision that we tried to be selling, because we were still in the very tangible world, where people like to click and purchase physical product. And I did remember some of the executive up in the Asia territory who thought maybe you do have something going on, but we're not sure what it is. So we're going to move you to another office within the organization. So we did. And once again, we've just been continuously moved around in different parts of the organization. When we finally got uh, the nod, the hardest thing was we could not announce it.
Right.
And tell anyone. We had the NDA, and in fact, we're still under NDA with everything to do with every licensor we did business with. So I think there was a number of months, maybe up to 5 or 6 months, where we couldn't even say anything. Even prior to getting the deal down, we couldn't announce or even tell people we were negotiating the deal. So inside ourselves, me and Dan, we did celebrate. We did go out for dinner.
Oh.
I did remember we went out for dinner because we couldn't share it with anyone. So we just basically cheers to each other on that. Yeah, but it is an honor still. I mean, this is truly remarkable for me. Yeah. And dream come true.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I'm wondering, I'm guessing you've seen, you tune in from time to time with the community and what's happening. And I'm sure you've heard how there's a lot of talk about utility and potential utility and future utility and where things could be going in the future. And you've even gotten people that have started up clubs based on a certain collectible, and you've got people sort of chiming in and shipping in, even offering their own business services for utility. I mean, I've offered to do a tour of the parks with a group of people for free, just like come hang out with me basically as an offer. And I'm just kind of curious what your take is on that and how you feel about the community speaking about that.
Yeah, so number one, the community is just amazing. We never thought we would have been able to build in such a short time. Right. And it's not just even the community, it's almost like everyone have the similar interests, and it's like a family when you meet. Even meeting yourself, and I think you were at the DCON, myself and Dan were sitting under the sun for a number of hours, signing and meeting and greeting our fan. And it's not just even the community, it's the depthness of the community. Like you say, you guys are providing, educating, helping other people's, and supporting. We have a lot of our community member have, ill child or family members, and that community really just come to support that. So it's beyond just collecting. The utility side of thing is something that we are going to look at very, very carefully this year. Now, this year, when I talked about Q1, Q2, as you know, we had a huge milestone we had to achieve, and we were under a lot of pressure to execute these. And we're going over one of the speed bump, and we got a number more to come up, because coming up is all about experience. Like you mentioned, what else could I get out of these, and what is the afterlife of these NFT apart from some people are buying it to have fun with it, reading experience. Some people are buying it to have that AR because they love the characters. They want to be part of that story. We wanted to go further, much more. And, without giving it away too much, we really thinking, the afterlife of these things that our fans and users have purchased. What else could we be giving back? Like you say, some exclusive events, some exclusive airdrops by holding on to these. Just like any other way you click things, we want to try to give that experience from the physical into the digital.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm excited to hear it. Yeah, there was that article that came out yesterday about Disney and doing that Accelerator program. And, a lot of people were saying, well, what do you think about that? What do you think about the VeVe wasn't mentioned? I was like, I think it's all good news. I mean, all the stuff that was mentioned in there, it was basically talking about, utility and augmented reality and NFTs. I'm like, this is good news, people. Like, it's great. Yes. I thought it was great news.
Yeah, the Web3 space is definitely something every company, every IP company is looking into.
Yeah.
The more, the better. And I always talked about, people ask me, what do you think of your fear with your competition? It's not really about one company owns everything and owns the whole industry. It's about everyone come together and foster this nascent industry. It is still very, very new. You'll never have one trading card company or one type of console gaming system. You're always going to have multiple, and it's having that to, that's where you're going to foster and grow new users. And this is part of what Q3, Q4 for us is. We talked about on our roadmap is that we want to be in front of users' face and acquire users in mass market. And the ComicCon is a perfect example. DCON's another one. We do want to ensure that we cornerstone these events to get mass market users.
Awesome. And then, so you probably have heard the saying that Walt Disney had always said that Disneyland would never be completed. And I'm wondering if you kind of take the same approach towards what you're doing with VeVe.
Yeah, totally. I did have a phone call with one high executive this morning, quite early in the morning, and he described it as you guys got so much happening. I won't say what's happening. Obviously, we share with our partners. We've just got so many things we're building behind it. It will never be really complete, and there's just so much more immersive we want to deliver. And what we have done, learned from our mistake was, and we want to continue to do this, is that we want to under-promise and over-deliver. So a lot of the things that we are no longer telling our fans, hey, this is what we're going to be doing, and then end up having fans being disappointed because we were a bit slow, the testing didn't go to plan, and so on. We like any human, we do make mistakes, and they are always time sensitive in these matters. And we do hear our fans. We hear what a great job, for example, you're doing in the community, and we want to see more of that around our fans too. And our job is to deliver the best product, and that best product will never finish because it's always going to be better and better and better.
I love that. Love it so much. And that's like kind of where my head has been at, is that's been my belief behind what you guys are doing, and here for it. I love it. Okay, so sort of to finish up, I don't know that you have publicly spoken about this whole 1977 secret rare comic that had come out. And that was like sort of one of your biggest little flurries, I feel like you caused on Twitter, because nobody had seen you be so hungry for something that you had dropped on the app. And so could you just like kind of speak about that a little bit?
Yeah. So going back to the Star Wars, the comic book that we did drop, and I guess our fans didn't. Sometimes they don't understand the significance of it. Number one is a lot of those cover artworks were very, very exclusive. I mean, I do believe they've never been seen, outside of the Lucasfilm, because they are the original drawings. And just, when I got the file came through, and when Dan shared it with me, I'm just going, oh my God, I've never seen any of these. Are you sure that, it's okay to use these as covers? They say, well, yeah, the whole point is we want the audience, our fans, to own something that's very unique. Yeah, and the significance around all that is, I do own a number of physical copy of that comic, and I just love it from day one. Yeah, I mean, the Star Wars, I first watched Star Wars, the film, and it was in foreign language, which is English. Foreign language to me was English. I found a VHS of the Star Wars, and I put it in. And I think it was Empire Strike Back, and you have the Ewoks all, going around and all these speeder, and not knowing what the hell I was watching, but I knew once you watch that, you just go, oh my God, this is it. I want more.
Yeah.
Your mind never thought this thing could happen. And migrated to New Zealand and then grew up, and the significance of Star Wars. I've been to almost every premiere, or tried to be in every premiere of the film. So yeah, it's a big thing for me.
That's awesome. Yeah, your fandom definitely showed when you were going, or you were like, I'll buy that comic for you. What do you want for it? And then also at the event when you guys were doing the giveaways, and one of the last giveaways at that pre-party thing that we had was a ultra rare Vader. And I remember hearing somebody said, "Did you hear what David you just said?" He went, "Wait, what are they giving away? That's $2,000." Like he even got like excited about it.
Yeah.
What I love about the partnership is that it seems that Lucasfilms is very, very hands-on with what they're delivering to. I mean, the product has been amazing. Every single drop has been really, really nice.
Yeah. The lightsabers extremely valuable. I mean, I was talking to Dan only the other day again, how rare it is, because you can think about it. The Yoda lightsaber, even though they did come out as blind box with different one, but some of the rarities are very, very low run. And you can imagine one day we bring out Yoda and he doesn't have a saber, so you really need to have one to put it in his hand. I mean, could you imagine that? How many that the amount of Star Wars fans gonna have that character plus the saber that was gonna go, it's gonna be tiny.
Yep.
So some of the collectible that we are doing, especially with Lucas Star Wars, they are very small runs. Even if they're in the tens of thousands, you do have to think the Star Wars fans is in the tens of millions,
Yep.
if not in hundreds of millions of fans. Everyone knows the brand, and it just there's just so many more TV series they're spinning off. I'm trying to catch up with them all. There's just so many of them now.
I know, it's like everywhere you turn, there's one coming out, and the Kenobi series was awesome. But yeah, I remember when the Mint run came out, I was, especially because you guys had the presence at the Star Wars Celebration event, I thought the Mint run was going to be even larger. And when I saw the numbers, I was like, this is nothing. Like in the grand scheme of things, this is nothing in terms of a Mint run. And then I was actually at that was the weekend that I was there at the parks. And so because everybody was going from that event at the convention center over to the parks, all of Galaxy's Edge was just everyone dressed in costume with lightsabers. I mean, I saw videos of everybody with their lightsabers in the air. I mean, the fandom is intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my experience in Star Wars Celebration, I have been to other ones, and I did. The last one I've been was the London one. Then obviously the Anaheim was the one this year. But it was Dan's first experience going in, and I told him, it's going to be a long walk.
Prepare.
And yeah, long walk. And he go, "What you mean?" And the minute we got out the Uber, they direct you into different halls to get the line, go to the basement, bag check, then more lines come up. And then he goes, "Oh my God, where do we start?" And I just tell him it's going to be a very long day. And I say, "Listen, there's going to be so many exclusive merchandise." The first store I stopped, I just couldn't help it. I bought one of the Star Wars jewelry, a J Yoda pendant. I don't even wear it, but I just need to own it. And the guy is just so good. He opened the box, and the box had these LED lights just lit up, and I'm just going, I have to have. Oh. And he goes, "We only have two." And I go, "I need to take one." The amount of artists there and the amount of just unseen merchandise you couldn't believe. So with VeVe, we're just at the very, very tip of getting these new users, onboarding them. I just couldn't imagine all the Star Wars fans discover VeVe and go, "My God, you could own a Darth Vader and he's going to stand next to me and take a photo. Where did you get that from?" And the animated one, as you know, the secret rare or the ultra rare, it's just amazing. You know,
I
the
know.
pose, just and the sound. You know, and every collectible coming out is just going to get better and better. And that's just one of um, some of the key characters in Star Wars. You know, I'm hoping and we're aiming to bring out more key characters coming up.
Amazing. That's awesome.
And then, you know, I don't know what's in the work, so no spoiler. But can you imagine if we had some of the vehicles, some of the, you know, the starships from the fighter planes, X-wing or Millennium Falcon or the TIE fighters? Can you imagine that? Owning one of those.
Yeah. And then the future of what you can do with those. I mean, just you could, it's like a snowball. It goes on and on, like all the things, not only just playing with it, then being able to drive it, then maybe having it in a metaverse and just, you know, races and all, like it's just, it gets me excited just to think about all the possibilities, because yeah, like you said, we're still so young. Even owning the collectibles as they are is incredible. But to think about that we can possibly do things with these in the future is even,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And you have to keep in mind, my job and Dan's job is not just a day-to-day operation, where we are very hands-on, but we are thinking where it's going to be in 4 or 5 years. So some of the technology we're embedding into what we're doing now, it's also about future-proofing it, and these digital assets, how they're going to interact in the future, whether in games. You know, we talked many times in our earlier AMA is that our vision of the whole where the world is in these digital assets is they will be interactive, they be interruptible, they have a lot more. I mean, our dreams are never going to stop beyond that, and the afterlife of these things. So we've got a lot more we're focusing on, and then, you know, we're going to get onto these things.
Incredible. So before I let you go, are there any other little things underneath you that you'd like to share that you haven't already, your little collectibles? Because I was geeking out over all that stuff.
I mean, I got a whole room full. It's a whole gallery, but Dan says it's really a warehouse of all toys, collectibles. Um, you know, I did get I managed to just score in Los Angeles, one of the retail shop, these tin toys. I might grab it. Give me a sec.
Go for it, yeah.
And I did also manage to get the Darth Vader version of these.
Oh, how
Yeah.
cool.
And you know, they were in perfect condition. The box is not dented. It's all got the original label on it.
Do you know like how old it is? Like what era it's from?
This one I think is the late 80s or 90, late 80s or 90s.
Amazing.
Yeah, but they were limited and they were made in Japan. Some of the Japanese collectibles, they just make them, you know, immaculate, just everything. And that's a tin one. It's not even like a plastic one.
Wow.
Yeah, and a lot, pretty much is a warehouse here for boxes and collectible, and I never stop. We try to change the background, you know, every time with something new.
That makes it fun, right? You can show off your stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, I like them to have a brief. I really do believe these things, they're living souls because they bring happiness and joy to me. And I come in here every time, and I'm always smiling. So
Oh, I love that.
bringing me alive. Yeah, and it's just good. And people come in here, they just go, "Oh my God, you got so much stuff." Are you like a dealer or something? And I'm just going, no, I like to wake up and come in here, and, you know, I want to see things I love. It makes me happy every day. And that's the secret to be successful. You just need to be happy at what you do. And we're very, very lucky that both myself and Dan, you know, we really love, you know, the job and curating this experience every week. I do have to say it looks very easy in front of it, that every week there's something dropping. It is a lot of work in the background,
Sure.
to doing this.
Yeah, I'm sure. But I will say, at least from my perspective, especially having met you guys, it shines through your passion and drive and commitment. And, meeting you guys in person just made me even, and not that I wasn't already like all for VeVe, but just even more so. I'm just like, God, these guys, they got it together. And I love this company. You guys, I want you to know that you brought a lot of joy into my life with being able to share my own passion with other people for Disney, and being able to find a way to, experience happiness through collecting in a new way. And I love that. And I will get to see you. Hopefully, I booked UK DCON because I want to go to Disney Paris too. So I'm going to do both of those.
Yeah, it's. I think the DCON UK is it their first show they ever done, or they done that
I'm not
show?
sure about.
Yeah, yeah, I think it is one of the first early shows. So we're really looking forward to it because we do have a huge community in UK.
They're very excited.
Yeah, the UK, yeah, and there's people coming down, I believe, from Scotland, from Ireland, yeah, even from France, they're coming in groups. I do get email constantly. And I did get an email a few days ago. A family is going to come down, especially he goes, oh, we do have to get the dog taken care of, everything, and we're coming down as the whole family to DCON. Thanks for bringing the joy to the family. And they were never a collector. They never into collecting anything, but now their kids couldn't be off the app. So I'm very, very happy that we have brought so much joy to fans like yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing I will say too, that I hope Disney hears is that it has created more of a physical collector in me as well. I started collecting these sort of, for investment purposes, and then fell in love once, Marvel and Disney came on board, and Star Wars. And then I started connecting them to things that I see in the parks, and getting things, I pick up things almost every time I'm at the park because I'm like, oh, that goes with my NFT. And so it's just, there's such direct correlation now that I never collected all these art pieces and different things before being on VeVe. And now that I'm on VeVe, I want to connect my digital to physical, which is really fun too.
Yeah, and Dan was before was exactly the opposite. He liked minimals, but since I have known him for 25 years, and he knows how much stuff I've been collecting. And the past years, as we're building this app out, I told him, you really need to understand that psychology, why people click and what really brings them. And he's becoming a huge collector. I mean, he's like try to, yeah, everything he sees it, he just really relates to him. And then comics is another huge one.
Yes.
Not sure if you've seen the physical comic. Even in eBay, I used to be able to pick up all the comic relatively reasonable price, but anything that's been in the slab, been graded, it just going crazy price. Even some of the DC product toys, these Batman Black and White, websites are just being swamped, sold out on most of them because our fans love to have that physical piece on the side as well. So we really think the business has driven a lot of people into collecting physical pieces in way and manner. But our work is going to be a big things for us as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and as we develop more and more features into the app, I think you understand what we are trying to connect the whole thing together. There's a lot more to come.
I love it. That's super exciting. I think that's the perfect place to leave it. This has been such an amazing conversation. I can't even describe how I'm feeling right now. Thank you so much for your time. Means the world to me. And I know the community is really going to appreciate all of this knowledge that you shared with us and feedback, and excited to see what the future holds.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. And we'll connect again.
Yes, hopefully I'll see you soon. And safe travels to the States for ComicCon.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, take care.
Cool. Thank you. Bye.